Hello, this is Kevin, and welcome to the eBay Cave. Tonight we're going to talk about a few things that have sold, some things that have been selling for us lately, how much money we made tonight, what kind of items are going, how we're doing in the summer, is there a slowdown, is it picking up, that kind of thing. We're going to talk about some items to be on the lookout for, summer items, camping type items, outdoorsy type items. And looking on into the fall for what kind of items are going to sell. I'm going to pull out a few things and show you things that I look for and how I go about picking them out and how I go about selling them. But let's look at what's sold. First thing is we sold a pretty decent day, I suppose, $209 worth of sales. We'll show you a few of the things that sold today, and we'll ship a few of them out with you and just talk about a few more and then get into our discussion on summertime sales. So first thing up is a video game. And today we sold an Xbox 360 game. This is part of that box that I ended up getting quite a few games. And I'm in about 60 to 70 cents if we average them all out. And this one sold for $15. Went to Mesa, Arizona. And it is Xbox 360 Sonic Sega All-Star Racing game, and so that should be a nice tidy little probably an $8 profit on, I think, is probably where we're looking. Here's the item itself in really good condition. Sometimes to keep it under 4 ounces with these, I put a little piece of bubble wrap inside of the package as well, and then put it in a padded bubble wrapped envelope, and that usually gives a little bit more structural support. Just a little trick that you could employ. If you see right here, you put that little bit of bubble wrap inside of it as well. I haven't had many problems just going with a eBay branded, and a lot of times I'll do a double eBay branded padded mailer, which is what we're going to do with this one. I'll put it in one and we're going to put it in another. That usually does the trick. So, next item up on the list is going to be a Chilton repair manual. And they're not great sellers, and it's something you come across quite often. So I'm going to give you some ideas on if you're not a reseller and you want to be, and on how to deal with an item like this. Is it an item you should buy or not? So here's the item, and here's what it looks like. This one has got a little bit of damage on it. This one is Jeep 1945 to 1987 Chilton. And we're going to pull that one up here. And this only sold for $10. So the shipping on it is going to be, let's see what we got. Probably got medium mail is my guess. It should be if it's not. And it is medium mail, so $3.27. So if you look at that and you look at the fees, we're looking at $5, and it sold for $10. So how much did we pay for it? I paid 50 cents for this one, so it's a $4.50 profit. To me, and you got to look at the titles, you got to look at the type, right? This is a Jeep. This has some desirability. It's not in great shape. So you kind of got to look at which ones, if you're doing a Ford Taurus from 1982 or something, you're probably not going to ever sell it. It's going to be a long tail. But if you can get them in a lot, get a whole big lot of these things, you can just snap one picture after the next and put poor condition in there and just list them all. They will eventually sell and give you your money. If you've got a lot of stuff to list, this is not an item I would suggest. But occasionally, if I can get a good lot of them, and if you make $5 on average and you buy 30 of them in a giant lot, you're making a lot of money on them if you're willing to store them and use the space. So it's just a matter of choice. It's not a high dollar item. It's not a big ticket one, and it's not something that most people would do. But I like them because they do eventually sell. And they also don't ever break. And you rarely get returns. So, matter of fact, I don't think I've ever got a return on them. And I've sold these things for years and years and years without a return. So, I'm pretty happy about that one. All right. on to the next one for today, and it is a VHS. Talk about things that most people won't sell, and this is a Dracula VHS, and got $6 for it. It's I bought it for $0.25. I don't even know why I bought it, to be perfectly honest with you. It's about a $1.90 profit, $2 profit, or something like that. It's definitely not something I would buy again. So sometimes, just want to give you an example of things that maybe you shouldn't buy. However, if you find one like that, maybe it's new in the package or something, and you can make $5, $6 on, then maybe it is something you want to put 5 minutes into. And like I said, $1 an hour is something that's very possible. For me, $1 an hour, $1 a minute is definitely something I'll do. So even if it's 50 cents a minute, you're making $30 an hour, and I like to make 40, but I'll do 30 from time to time if I think it's an interesting item. So let's go ahead and ship that one off. And like I said, not good money on that, and probably wouldn't do it again. But all right, and we're gonna head on to the next item in a second, and then we're gonna talk about a few items that sold that were the big ticket items for the day that helped us make a pretty decent profit. All right. VHS usually goes in 2 paddeds as well. All right. Next item up on the list for today is a DVD, and this goes, if you've been watching here, this goes to the lot of games. A lot of DVDs, anime DVDs that we sold, that we've been selling off, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Out of that box, we're probably $200 up already, and we still have some left. It's probably gonna be a $300 sale when it's all said and done. And this is gonna be a double padded as well. You can do the same trick with a little piece of bubble wrap inside, just to kind of preserve it. So, not a big sale. It's a $10 sale, free ship. Shipping on it's going to be $3.22. So again, you're looking at about a $4.50 profit when you take into account what you paid for it. Not great, but like I said, you just take all those out one day. You buy a giant lot of them, and you just line them up and take picture after picture after picture after picture. Now, I do everything on my phone. Now, I know some people don't. I know some of the guys on YouTube do use their phone. I think Cincinnati Picker does, but most of them don't. And some of them obviously kind of contract some of their picture work out, which is something I try to do with my son. So anyway, let's go ahead and ship this thing out and put it in the giant IKEA bag, which we're not quite as full as we have been the last few days, but still not a terrible day. It's going to be definitely over $100 profit day with maybe no more than an hour and a half put into the work for shipping and taking some more pictures. So it's a pretty good day for a part-time gig. Pretty good money. All right, let's talk about a couple of items today that sold that we're not going to package up here, because it's going to take a little too long. I don't know if you can see this back here or not, but we'll pull it up. I showed this on a previous video, but here's the brother Cartridge for the fax machine. And this was I can't remember if it was a $3 buy or a $5 buy. But it is a fax machine, still brand new in the box. It's still brand new in the box. It even has the shipping label on it. I wonder if there's a date on this thing. The ship date is 2011. So to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that anybody even in 2011 is buying this thing, but where'd my razor blade go? There it is. Get that off. Got a UPS shipping label on it from 8 years ago. Don't need that. And I'm going to ship this, and I'm going to ship it. I'm going to get one of those heavy-duty construction bags, and I'm just going to ship it right here in this box because it's already padded. Everything's already inside. There's nothing going to happen to it. Now, the only problem is, actually, you know what? I'm probably not, now that I think about it, because this has got to go with it as well. And so we'll put that together in a different box and ship it off. But this was, I can't remember if it was a $3 item I bought, or if it was a $5 item, but I was pretty happy to come across it. It's a neighborhood yard sale, and I was one of the first people in that particular yard sale. There were 3 or 4 probably there before me, and you know, nobody's looking for a fax machine per se. Most people who are going to be resellers these days, but found that one, and I think it sold for $42.95 plus shipping. So I think that's probably going to be about a $33, $34 profit item. Don't even have to take it out of a box. I mean, that's a really, really good item. If you could sell items with that kind of a margin, you're usually going to be increasing your dollar amount per hour that you put into this work. So really happy with that sale. And one more I think we'll talk about for a second is this mug. This mug right here. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a Starbucks mug, and it's not new. You know, it's got the sticker residue's been taken off of, and you know, the "You Are Here" collection, and there's dates on this. Is 2015. Of course, you see the Virginia Monticello, and it's got the crabs, and I don't know what else is on here. D-Day Memorial maybe here in Bedford. So, any rate, that's the mug that sold. And I think it sold for $12. And you find these every now and again. I bought this one for 50 cents. It sold for $12. So you're looking at a $9 profit on this item. It's obviously got to be packaged up nicely, but something to be looking for wherever you're at, because it's difficult to find those out-of-state ones, and you know, usually people from all over the country are going to buy them. So, all right, let's talk about one other thing before we let you go tonight, and that's what to be looking for in the summer. There's off-season stuff you can be looking for. You know, buying ski stuff, you know, ski boots and stuff like that in the summertime is really, really good. Buying jackets at yard sales when it's 90 degrees and humid is a good idea. If you have the space to store it, I suggest that you do that. If you don't have the space, then I wouldn't do that. I do think that buying outdoor gear, camping gear, and things like that, and whether you decide to resell those at Play It Again Sports, or if you want to resell online, let me give you a couple little ideas here, and then we're going to do a video somewhere down the line here on what type of items to be looking for to resell locally, to resell at Play It Again Sports, what kind of camping gear and exercise equipment and sporting goods, and where is the best place to sell it? Is it eBay or is it local? Couple things I always look for that are passed up are these hiking backpacks. This one happens to be one of the baby carrier ones from Evenflow, and this was a $5 item, and it's a really, really nice one. I think it has a Trailblazer patch right here on this one. These can be difficult to package and ship. Sometimes you need the right size box. But this is something you could also take to Play It Again Sports, even if you're not somebody who does a lot of eBay. And so this is the type of item I like to buy. It starts to sell in the summertime when people are out and about, and it really sells well in the fall as well. As people are camping in the fall and the weather is not quite as hot. Another item I don't hear too many resellers talk about is tents. Is buying tents. And if you can open up a tent and see, hey, this is in really good shape, or maybe this one hasn't even been used, and I believe this one hasn't been used at all, buying these things up, I usually store them up, and then in the summertime, take them out and set them up. You know, it takes a lot of time, but if you take the tent out and you go out and you set it up in your own yard, I hopefully will have somebody doing this for me, and paying them a little bit of money to do it. It's definitely worth picking up a tent. Now, some people just don't want to deal with the tent because sometimes when they're used, you don't know what they look like. You don't know what the interior looks like. Folding up a tent, putting up a tent is just too much of a pain in the butt. But if you find one you can look up, you can find a model number on it. Definitely if you find them new, I would buy them. You can get pretty good deals on them sometimes. And there's pretty good resale value if you're willing to put in the work for them. I would suggest trying it a few times, seeing if you like it. I wouldn't buy a bulk buy or anything like that, but I would suggest maybe doing that. Another item you find, and if you live in a city that's near a minor league baseball team, or minor league baseballs. Sometimes you go to the game even, and you can grab a minor league baseball. They'll usually sell, depending on the condition, a game-used baseball sell for $10. So, after your shipping and your fees on something like that, you might make $5 on a ball, which is a lot better than taking it in to play it against sports and getting, $1.25 or whatever. They'll give you $1 for it or whatever. So, something to think about as well. Or, you get a lot of them, take them in there. That's not a bad option either. So, all right. That's just a few of the camping type items. There's a few more I like to look for, and that's these fishing shirts. You can find them oftentimes, and they're good sellers in the fall, even in the winter time. From Columbia, and this one is from Magellan. If you can get them a good enough price, they're good sellers here in the fall as well. So just a couple items to be on the lookout for, and thanks for joining us. If you like the shows, you keep wanting more content, subscribe below and ring the bell for us and leave us some comments. I've heard some comments lately from some people, and would like to get some suggestions on the kind of things that you do. What types of things do you like to sell? Is there anything that I sell that you don't like to sell, and what are the reasons why? I always like to learn from people, and over the years I've got better at this, but I have, I do things a little bit different than most for sure. So anyways, leave some comments below, and thanks for watching.